Right before Caitlin Clark was about to come out of the game and be done for the night, she hits her signature logo 3 from 36 feet. Yes, I said it, 36 feet.
For Brazil, here's Clark. Wow! You bet! From beyond the logo!
Wait, did you feel that? A 36-foot heat check in a preseason scrimmage just sent shockwaves through an arena that had spent half a year echo empty. One flick of Caitlin Clark's wrist, and the energy in Carver Hawkeye spiked like a seismograph. Fans thought they were buying nostalgia, one more glimpse of the collegiate phenom who'd owned every spring headline. But in that sliver of air between ball and net, they realized they were witnessing something brand new. 6 months without basketball felt like 6 hours as number logo Clark trended worldwide before the anthem's second verse. The roar, the resale prices, the goosebumps said it out loud. We're standing on the lip of a volcano, and that impossible 3 was just the first crack in the crust. Hold tight. The eruption is coming, and it will light more than Midwest cornfields on fire.
Hit a shot from outside your own logo is one of the most badass things ever.
15,000 seats vanished in 37 minutes. Carver Hawkeye's fastest sellout since the men's Final Four watch party back in 2015. StubHub dashboards bled red, while average resale rocketed past $650, more than courtside at last year's WNBA Finals. Out-of-towners clogged I-80 rest stops, waving hand-drawn logo range or bust posters. Inside, every phone flashlight became a star in a homemade galaxy. The Hawkeye pep band struck the first chord and got drowned out by a chant they never taught in rehearsal. MVP, MVP. Clark hadn't even laced a shot. The ramp-up felt bigger than any senior night, because this wasn't just hello again. It was welcome to the sequel. Last year's Bird and Magic debate? It suddenly felt quaint.
Caitlin Clark just being a different level of entertaining. I mean, she's the most entertaining basketball player on the planet.
When the ball finally left the referee's hand, Brazil's opening possession lasted 11 shaky seconds. Clark poked, dove, slung a no-look on the break, and the decibel meter popped its fuse. People didn't travel 8+ hours for a reunion. They came for a metamorphosis. Every clap, every squeal, every hand gripping a fresh number. 22 jersey whispered the same thing. We know exactly what she is, and we have no clue what she's about to become. But if you thought the rumble peaked at tip-off, wait for the post-game autograph line that proved Clark's gravity reaches far beyond cornfields and campus quads. Final buzzer. Scoreboard reads 108-44. Yet for Brazil's national team starters, the contest wasn't over. It just changed venues, from hardwood to tunnel. They queued in single file, blue jerseys bunched like school kids, Sharpies gripped tight. One after another they surrendered sneakers, wristbands, even FIBA accreditation lanyards for Clark's signature. Head coach Leo Figueiro, mic'd for a documentary, forgot tact and blurted,
"How are you? Good, how are you?
You're an amazing player. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're changing the history in basketball.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming here and playing us. Most people you've played in front of.
Yeah.
You're changing the history of basketball. You're an amazing player. What you're doing is phenomenal."
His words went viral faster than any highlight. 30 unscripted seconds flipped the narrative. The so-called Midwest darling stood revealed as a global touchstone. Brazil's captain, guard Erica de Souza, later told reporters she'd never asked an opponent for an autograph in her 20-year career. "But this is Michael Jordan visiting Barcelona," she laughed. Half the roster's Instagram captions echoed the same rocket emoji. Contrast that with last summer's chilly handshakes from certain W vets, or the eye rolls whenever Clark racked up 41 national broadcasts. Overseas, there are no politics, no old guard pecking orders, only respect for a phenom who sells out gyms she's never stepped in. And back stateside, the money people were already calculating how to bottle that rocket fuel. 41 Fever games, 41, will hit national TV or prime streaming slots this season, an exposure level no W franchise has sniffed in 28 years. ESPN, Amazon, CBS Sports, and Netflix's new WNBA Red Zone spin-off are sharing custody like divorced parents willing to pay extra weekends. Franchises stampeded to NBA homes. Chicago shifted 2 dates into the United Center, house that Jordan built, because Wintrust's 10,000 chairs suddenly felt like folding stools. Washington moved its Indiana clashes to Baltimore's 14,000-seat CFG Bank Arena. Connecticut blocked out TD Garden. Phoenix locked footprint 41 days early. Every GM calls it capacity insurance. The rest of us call it the Caitlin Clark effect. Merch is a wildfire. Fanatics reports Clark's jersey outsold every MLB All-Star in April. Yes, during baseball season. Trading cards? PSA graded 3,000 rookie parallels in a single week, a women's sports record. One digital Top Shot sold for $17,200. Double Sue Bird's Championship Series auction. Remember the league that bled $40 million last year? Suddenly, jersey patches once hawked for $200,000 now fetch 7 figures. Airlines, snack brands, and a certain phone carrier are elbowing for sleeve real estate the size of a postage stamp. If revenue turns positive this year, historians will circle tonight's preseason explosion in fluorescent ink. Still, money never hung a banner by itself. For that, Clark needed reinforcements. GM Amber Cox spent the winter like a Vegas shark doubling every hand. She shipped draft picks for Natasha Howard, 3-time champ, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, persuaded Iron Woman Dawana Bonner to chase one more ring in Fever Blue, then layered microwave scorer Sophie Cunningham and pogo stick shot eraser Brianna Turner around her young core. Returnees? Fully weaponized. Aaliyah Boston drops 20 pounds, adds a face-up jumper, and vows to become Clark's Paint Pippin. Kelsey Mitchell's surgically repaired ankle finally allowed her to sprint a sub-12 beep test. Insiders say she's framing every practice clip like a track baton exchange. Catch, launch, smile. Head coach Stephanie White, back from SEC sideline duties, promises 2 non-negotiables: pace and space. Training camp scrimmages show a 5-out constellation where Clark dribbles into 30-foot pick and rolls. Howard seals, Boston slip cuts, and 4 red jerseys become heat-seeking lasers in the corners. Last year I decoded the league, Clark grins. This year I plan to edit it. Yet every empire needs friction, an antagonist to sharpen the hero's edge. Angel Reese's social feeds still flaunt the unbothered brand, but the comment threads tell another story. One day after the Iowa sellout, Reese's mother reposted a think piece titled, "When Talent Isn't Enough If You're the Wrong Color," thinly veiling a swipe at Clark's white girl marketability. The debate percolated into morning show banter, where pundits parsed whether locker room jealousy qualified as racism or plain old envy. 2-time MVP Aja Wilson, once measured in her praise, went full 180 during March Media Day. She thanked Clark directly for acknowledging privilege on the Athletic podcast and called her the perfect lightning rod to grow all our pockets. That olive branch shifted Twitter's fault line. Detractors retweeted receipts. Supporters crowed about unity. Controversy sells. Every time Wilson lobs a playful barb or Reese posts a cryptic emoji, Turner Sports slaps T-6 days until Fever versus Aces across its lower third. The league discovered a paradox. The more haters push back, the higher the ratings climb, and Clark converts every boo into a broadcast. But storylines alone don't silence skeptics. Trophies do. Vegas bookmakers, famously ice in the veins, list Clark a slight favorite over Wilson and Brianna Stewart in the early MVP line. The Fever's title odds shortened from 14-1 in January to 6-1 by draft night, leapfrogging New York and nipping at Vegas's heels. The math is brutal but persuasive. Clark produced top 5 scoring and league-leading assists while being face-guarded at 28 feet every night. Remove the 8-game learning curve, add 2 spacers and a rim-eating finisher, and the calculus tilts. Yet hardware is half the war. In the talk shows that still treat women's hoops like a curiosity, pundits repeat the same clause. She hasn't won at the highest level. Never mind that Bird collected her first WNBA trophy at 30. Clark is 23. Still, she knows the narrative, so she leans into it. In April, she told a Des Moines fundraiser, "College taught me how to chase history. The W will teach me how to seize it. If Clark assembles an MVP plus ring double this summer, the asterisks go up in smoke. No more hype meets reality, clickbait. Just reality with char marks on the rims. But there's a metric even trophies can't measure: cultural gravity. Scroll TikTok in Kampala, and you'll see Ugandan schoolgirls chanting Logo 3 in Hawkeye gold. In Sao Paulo, cafe TVs loop that 36-footer while subtitles translate preseason for confused passers-by. Tokyo's Shibuya Crossing LED billboard spent an entire Sunday replaying Clark's half-court trading card reveal. Her Twitter following cleared 3 million before game number 50. Her non-profit NIL fund has raised $2.1 million for Midwestern youth clinics. Clark refuses to play silent superstar. She posts reading lists on allyship, auctions game-worn sneakers for domestic violence shelters, and answers loaded pressers without the cliché eject button. "If I'm only selling tickets, I'm half doing my job," she told The Athletic, then plugged every Fever rookie's Insta handle unprompted, pushing spotlight outward. That blend of swagger and sincerity makes her a rare commodity. A Gen Z hero untainted by corporate polish, but polished enough to anchor a Fortune 500 ad campaign. The WNBA can bank that credibility for a decade. Which brings us back to tonight's volcano, and the season barreling toward us like lava down the lane.
Why does someone from Brazil, who isn't directly benefiting from what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA, why is he celebrating her more enthusiastically than the overwhelming majority of coaches, players in the WNBA?
One meaningless exhibition flick of the wrist detonated louder than some finals buzzer beaters. It sold out an arena, spiked secondary market prices, humbled international pros, and forced billion-dollar broadcasters to rearrange their summer grid. And that was only the dress rehearsal. 44 regular season detonations lie ahead, each with brighter lights, wider arenas, and a deeper cast at Clark's flank. Caboose franchises now salivate whenever Indiana appears on the schedule because a Fever road game means their only sellout of the year. ESPN just slotted life-of-season shoulder programming called Why Not 30, tracking Clark's nightly pursuit of a 30-point average none of her male idols ever tallied. If her first swing shook the Richter, imagine the reading when she's chasing hardware in late August. Rings, records, a 50-piece in Madison Square Garden. Every possibility feels suddenly realistic.